All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin, and I'm here with Barbara. Together, we both like to welcome you all to our latest Novedge webinar series episode. In this latest webinar with Novedge, TDM Solutions' own Pedro Loureiro creates up to 5 jewelry design samples from scratch using features unique to both Clayoo and RhinoGold 4.0. Furthermore, we'll showcase the all-new RhinoEmboss 1.0 beta for reliefs, engravings, and texturing. It's going to be 100% practical. For those of you who don't know who Pedro is, our presenter Pedro is a RhinoGold CAD Manager at TDM Solutions SL, a graduate of Cindor School of Jewellery in Portugal. He joins us with over 10 years of professional design experience. Most recently, Pedro won Lisboa Design Show's top prize for his 3D printed puzzle using TDM Solutions Clayu plugin. Pedro's design fuses both form and ingenuity, and we're very happy to have him here presenting today's webinar. Which is going to be about 40 minutes long, and afterwards we'll have a brief Q&A where Pedro, Rafael, and Enrique from TDM Solutions will answer your questions live. So submit yours to us at any time into the chat window below. But before we get going with today's presentation, here's an overview of what we do at Novedge. The Novedge webinar series is brought to you by Novedge.com. As one of the largest online design software stores, we offer a huge assortment of software solutions that cater to virtually every designer's need. To pick up TDM Solutions RhinoGold 4.0, you are welcome to call and speak with our specialist, Bob Thayer. You can reach him by his email address, bob@novedge.com. And I have Barbara with me here, and Barbara has a few things to mention.
Hi everybody, I'm here to strongly encourage you to visit the Novedge blog to get a glimpse at who is changing the world of design one step at a time. Meet the innovators, the makers, the architects, the VFX artists who work right on the edge of creativity and technology. Great interviews, great images, and great stories. Come visit us today at blog.novedge.com. And to catch up with the latest product promos and Novedge webinars, like us on Facebook, another source of endless information and why not entertainment. Next week, Resolve Software Solutions President Jeff McBeath presents our coming Vectorworks webinar, where he'll cover the steps for creating a 3D site model from a surveyor's file, including georeference data, alignment with air photos and DWG info, as well as cleaning up edges and problem data points after creation. After the existing site model is created, we will look at site analysis and the use of modifiers to create the proposed site. The presentation is always free and will last about 1 hour, including the Q&A session. To sign up, head on over to www.novedge.com/webinar/108. Last but not least, today's webinar is being recorded live. If you want to rewatch episode 107 in its entirety, as always, you can find it on our Novedge webinar series channel through Vimeo and YouTube. And now, back to the guys in Spain. Hope everybody's ready and the tapas are rolling.
Cool. All right. So now that we're back, let's see. Pedro, are you ready?
Yes, Kevin.
Cool.
I'm ready.
Okay. Sweet. So because we're in Spain and because they're in Spain and we're in San Francisco, things might look a little, there might be a little bit of a delay. So let us know in the chat window below and we'll try to get that fixed and make sure you guys get every little detail. All right? All right. Pedro, you should have control right about now.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank you, Kevin, Barbara, and all the Novedge team for letting us show RhinoGold. So in the next 40 minutes, we are going to show you for real jewelry design models. We are going to start with this ring. This is a simple ring. We are going to use some jewelry studios from RhinoGold. Then we are going to create this bracelet using Clayu. After it, we are going to create this NFL pendant using Rhino Emboss. And finally, we are going to create this signet ring with a pavé setting. So let's start. Remember, any question, please use the chat and my workmates will be answering. So let's start with the ring. The first step, every time we create a ring, I recommend to use to define the ring size. To do it, under the Jewelry tab, we have the Gouge tool. So when we click on the Gouge tool, this tool allows us to create the ring size. So we can define any ring size chart in this side panel, and then the ring size. After it, we just need to check, and we have a curve with the defined ring size. So the next step, I want to create a gem. To do it, I'm going to the Gems tab, and in here I have the Gem Studio tool, and it will open automatically this side panel where I can define all the parameters in this gem. We can define the cut. We have all the standard cuts. I'm going to choose the Brilliant Gem Cut, and of course we can define all the materials available for gems. Then we just need to define the parameters. In this case, I want a gem with 2 mm diameter, and okay, I just need to check, and as you can see, I have the gem in here, and now I'm going to create a bezel. So I'm going back to the Jewelry tab, and with the Bezel tool, as you can see, when I click on the icon, automatically adjust the bezel to the selected gem. So as you can see now, I can adjust with these points to define the shape of the bezel. Of course, we can also change to the front view, and in here probably it will be easier to define the shape. So I can move these points to define the shape of the bezel. As you can see, easily we can adjust every details. Of course, remember, we can check all the measures, all the parameters in the side panel. So in here we can define more parameters. For instance, if I want to add more points to, for instance, add one arc in this area, another arc in this area, easily we can define all the parameters. So back to the front view, I'm going to adjust a little bit more here, and okay, now we have the bezel created. So after this, I just need to check in the side panel, and the bezel is automatically added to the document. I'm going to save the document. I usually always save the files. So I'm going to replace, and now I'm going to move the bezel and the gem to the top of the ring size curve. So I'm going to activate the gumball. As you can see in here, we can activate the gumball, and the selected objects, we just need to place them where we need. In this case, I'm going to leave a little bit inside of the curve and the rest outside. And now I'm going to the Transform tab, and I'm going to use the Dynamic Polar Array tool. When I click on this icon, the parameters in this side panel, I can select first the object. So I want to select the bezel and the gem, and now I just need to define all the parameters. So I want in the front view, I want to justify all 360 degrees, and now I just need to adjust the number of copies. So in this case, I'm going to use 23. Let's go back to the perspective to see what we have, and I'm going to use also the advanced parameters. So this allows me to create one more copy. As you can see, I have the copy, and of course I can adjust the distance, but in this case I don't want a linear copy, I want a spheric copy. As you can see now, it's an angle between the two rows of gems, and I can also activate the interpolate option. So this will give me the positions, interpolated positions. Okay, I can adjust the distance a little bit more, and I will also activate the option both sides. So easily we have the dynamic polar array done, so I just need to check here, and almost ready. So now the last step, I'm going to unite all the bezels we have. So I'm going to use the middle mouse button to select all the bezels. This is the icon. And I'm going to use the Boolean union under the modeling tab to unite all the bezels in a single object. So select the bezels, Boolean union, to unite all these objects in a single one. So at this moment, RhinoGold is calculating the operation. Okay, so now we have one single object, and the final step, I'm going to adjust. As you can see in the front view, if I select the curve, I have the bezels inside of the ring size. So the last step is just to adjust the ring to the ring size. To do it, I'm going to use the AutoCut tool. So this tool is very easy. I just need to select the curve to cut and then the object to cut. In this case is the ring. Press enter, and it starts calculating the cut. So as you can see, now I'm going to the front view. As you can see, now the ring is respecting the ring size, and easily we have the ring defined. Remember, you can always change the materials. If you want, you just select and go to the materials tab, and you define any material you want, and easily we can apply the material. Okay, this is the first model. Really easy, really simple. Now let's go to the second one. Let's create this bracelet using Clayu. So I'm going to open a new file, and in this model I'm going to start with Clayu. So we have the Clayu tab, and the first thing is to turn on Clayu with this icon. As you can see, when Clayu is turned on, we can see the viewport toolbar in here. This toolbar allows us to use the Clayu gumbals and also the selection modes. And to start this bracelet, I'm going to create an ellipsoid. So I click on the ellipsoid icon, and once again I have the ellipsoid and also the parameters in the side panel. So we can change the measures in here, or double click in the gumball and define the measures we want. So in this case I want 20 millimeters. In this I will double click again, 10 millimeters, and in this one I want 4 millimeters. Okay. Also, we can define in the parameters the divisions. So I recommend to use always the less possible, and if we need more detail, we will later add more divisions. So in this case, I create just 3 divisions and check here to add the ellipsoid to the document. And now, in the selection mode, I'm going to change to faces selection mode. And now I can select faces, and I'm going to select this face and exactly the same face in the bottom. So press shift to multiple selection. I have both faces selection, and I want to create a hole between them. So to do it, with the faces selected, I'm going to use the bridge tool. When I use the bridge tool, automatically I have the hole between the selected faces. So I just need to check in the side panel, and again the same operation for the other side. I select first the 2 faces and then the bridge tool. Okay, so I just need to check, and now I'm going to adjust the shape as I need. To do it, I'm going to select this face and this face. Remember to press Shift for multiple selection. And then I'm going to change the gimbal to scale gimbal. So I can use the scale gimbal. In this case, I'm going to use the red axis. So I'm going to use just one dimension scale. As you can see, I can adjust exactly how I need. And now the same for these faces. I'm going to select these two. The same for these two. And now, once again, I'm going to scale in one direction. This time the green axis for the direction, just adjusting the shape as I need. Okay, probably a little bit less. Okay, and of course we can adjust. In this case, I'm going to adjust this face and this face just a little bit more with the same direction. Okay, and easily, as you can see, we can define the element we need. Of course, we can go to the front view and adjust if we want in select all of them a little bit less. We can adjust, use the grid as reference to use exactly the measures we need. So in this case, I believe it's fine. So now I have the model, the element for the bracelet defined. I can turn off Clayu, and now I'm going to define the curve under the drawing tab, the curve for the bracelet. So I'm going to use the ellipse tool, and the first step, I need to define the center. So it will be easier in the front view. I can define the center exactly in the center, and now I'm going to define 22 millimeters for both sides in this direction, and then going to define 33 millimeters in both directions in this side. Okay, as you can see, now I have the curve of the bracelet. I just need to apply the element along the curve. To do it, I'm going to the Jewelry tab, and in here we have the Chain tool. So when I click on this icon, the first step in this side panel, I need to select the object. So in this case, the object is this element, and I need to select the curve. So in this case, this is the curve, and now I just need to adjust the parameters. So in this case, I'm going to include ends, and the number of copies, I'm going to adjust the number of copies exactly as I need. As you can see, now we have the bracelet ready. Of course, we can adjust the angle of rotation of each element. As you can see, we can use the gimbals or even using the parameters from the side panel. In this case, I believe it's perfect, so I just need to check. And as you can see, I'm going to change the display mode to render. Okay, and now I'm going to hide this element, select all the elements just to apply a material. So you can see, for instance, 14 karat gold, and as you can see, the bracelet is done. Really, really easy, I believe. And now let's go to the next model, which will be the NFL pendant, which we will be using Rhino Emboss. So let's take a look. First, I'm going to add, to create a new file. So I'm going to save this. And now, to start with this pendant, I'm going to the Artistics tab, and in here I'm going to start by Raster to Vector tool. So when I click on the icon, this allows me to select an image. So I select the NFL image. As you can see, it's not a great contrast image, but let's see what we can get from this image. If we press on preview, as you can see, there is no contrast enough in the image, but we can adjust all the parameters. So let's try to use the invert colors. So now we have more contrast, and with the preview, automatically I have all the curves from the image. So after this, I just need to check, and now I have all the curves I need. The curves are a group by default, and if I want to ungroup them, it's very easy. Under the Drawing tab, we have the Group icon, and in the submenu, we have the Ungroup tool. So when I click Ungroup, now I can select the curves I don't need, delete, and in this case, I'm going to adjust the scale of the model. To do it, I select the curves, and I'm going to the Transform tab, where I can use under the Scale 3D submenu, we have the Scale by Dimension tool. So this tool allows me to adjust the exactly dimension I need. So I'm going to keep the aspect turned on to keep the proportions of the curve, and now I just need to define the measures. So I know I want a 5 centimeters pendant, so I'm going to 550 millimeters, and as you can see, now I have the curve exactly the scale I need, so I can delete the original one and check here to make the changes. So as you can see, now I have my curves ready, almost. Probably they are not centered, so I can easily use the Go to Center tool just to center the curves. And if needed, as you can see, if the stars are not really as we want, easily we can go to the top view, and under the Drawing tab, we have the Polygon Start tool. So easily we can just define the number of sides, so we can easily create a star just to adjust these curves. So easily we can adjust to create the perfect one, so we can delete the other, and of course under the Transform tab we can copy this to the other positions. So just to make sure I'm using the perfect dimensions. Okay, so the same in this side. Of course, I could create just one side and then create the symmetry, but no problem. Just now I'm going to delete the old ones. Okay. And now we have all the curves prepared. One last thing is in here, I think I'm going to need one more curve, so I'm going to create easily under the Drawing tab. We have the Smart Curve tool, and we can just create an outside curve just to define one more relief in Rhino Emboss. So I'm just defining all these curves to use with Rhino Emboss. So just creating this outside curve. Now I'm just closing the curve. As you can see, now the curve is ready. One other thing I can do before start with Rhino Emboss is just group some curves just to be easier to select. So I can select all the stars and group them. So very easy with the grouping tool. The same with the letters. I'm going to select them and group. And the same with these curves from the ball. So select the curves and group the curves. So I'm going just to save my file. So I'm going to save this file, replace. Okay. And now I can start with Rhino Emboss. To do it, I'm going to the Artistics tab, and in here we can start with Rhino Emboss. And to start, the first step is to define the project settings. So I'm going to adjust the measures. In this case, I want to keep 50 width and 8. I'm going to define 52, just a little bit more. The resolution, we can define more resolution. In this case, I'm going to leave like this. And in the advanced parameters, we can delete the base, which I will activate. And the cap type, we have several cap types available. In this case, I'm going to activate the core. And the cap distance can be 1 millimeter, or let's choose 0.5. So all the parameters, all the settings are defined. We just check here, and automatically Rhino Emboss will appear in the side panel. So let's take a look how to use it. The first thing is to add a new operation. So I click on this icon, and as you can see, I have the first operation. So I need to select the operation type. When I click on this icon, I have several operations available. In this case, I'm going to choose the first one, operation by profile, and after defining the operation type, I need to define the curve to create this operation. So I click on this icon, and I just need to select the curve I want to apply. So after this, automatically it will appear a gimbal where we can adjust exactly how we need. So we can adjust the shape, remember this for two directions, and with double click we can adjust exactly the measures we need. So we adjust the gimbal, and now we just need to refresh the results, and as you can see, the gimbal was successful applied to the curve. So now we have one operation. Let's move forward to the second one. So the same process, I will add a new operation, operation type by profile, and the curve, I'm going to select this curve. So after this, the same process, I will add this operation to the previous one, and I need to adjust the gimbal. Remember, we can hide the results just to adjust the gimbal, so I will use this icon just to hide the results and adjust the gimbal exactly how I need. The same in 8, I will define 0.5 millimeters 8 and adjust a little bit in this direction. So we just need to show again the results and refresh to check. So as you can see, it was successful created. One was added to the previous one. So I'm going to move forward to the next operation. Also, one important thing is that the gimbals we used before, we can hide them in this icon. So we go to the operation and hide the gimbal, so we can show any moment. So I'm going to hide, I won't need them. So the next step will be add one other operation. So click on this icon. Once again, operation type is operation by profile. And now the curves, I'm going to select the letters. So after selecting the letters, the same process, I just need to adjust the gimbal exactly how I need. So I can adjust, double click and define exactly measures I need and adjust the gimbal. Of course, we have a few more options. If we click on this icon, it will appear the profile parameters. In this case, I don't want the letters to be added to the previous profile, so I'm going to define not add, but subtract. So now, when I apply this relief, instead of add, it will subtract. We just need to refresh, and as you can see, easily we have the results. So once again, the same process, one other operation, select the curves. In this case, I'm going to select the stars, press enter. Now I'm going to hide the result just to show you. In this example, I will change the profile. It's not the better profile to create the start, and to do it, it's very easy. We just go to Operation Settings, and in the profile, we can click on the profile, and as you can see, we can select any of these profiles available. Of course, we can create our own, but in this case, I want this straight profile. So the same process, I apply the profile, adjust the gimbal, and now I just need to show the results and refresh. So as you can see, easily we have the stars created. Just change the profile, and here they are. So once again, I'm going to add one more operation type by profile, and the curve. Now I'm going to choose this outside curve I've created. So just need to adjust the gimbal. So I'm going to hide the previous ones, adjust this one, probably double click, I will define 0.5 millimeters, and now the same process, I just need to refresh to check the results. Okay, so now the idea is to add another operation with another curve. So I select the curve in here. In this case will be the group of curves. I'm going just to adjust the gimbal exactly how I need. Okay, double click. We can set 0.5 millimeters, probably a little bit less. And now refresh to check the results. Okay, as you can see, it was successful created. Of course, we can any moment adjust the gimbal and refresh the results, but now I believe it's fine. So I'm going to use one last operation, which will be operation type. I'm going to select, this time I'm going to select smooth operation type. So to use this, as you can see, I have a small circle, and using this circle I can smooth the results. As you can see, easily we can smooth all the results. Of course, we can change the parameters in this icon. We can change the diameter. For instance, I need a big circle, so I want a diameter 12 millimeters, and of course we can change the smooth level. In this case we don't need, so I'm going to keep 1. And now I just need to apply the smooth, as you can see, to all the pendant, just to smooth the surface. Okay. As you can see, very easy. I just need to drag the mouse over the area I need. And now I can turn off the smooth tool, and the pendant is ready. All the reliefs were successfully created. Now I just need to check here to add the relief to the document. And at this moment, RhinoEmboss is calculating the reliefs, and it will apply it in the document. Okay, it's computing the mesh. I'm going just to change the display mode to render. Okay, as you can see, the relief was successfully created. As you see, the cap type I defined perfect. So I just need to apply, let's apply the gold material. And now the last step, I'm just going to the jewelry tab just to apply a finding. So in the findings tool, we can choose any of these findings. So we can click on any of this, double click, and automatically it will appear in the document. In this case, just select, and with the gimbal I can place exactly where I need. So probably in the top view. Can adjust exactly the position, as you can see. And in the right view, it's perfect. So easily we have the NFL pendant. As you can see, it's ready. Okay, this is the third model. Let's move forward to the next one, and the next one will be this signet ring. So let's start the signet ring. So I will open a new file. Okay, I want to save the changes, and to create a signet ring we can do it easily with the signet ring tool under the Jewelry tab. So when we click on the icon, automatically we have the parameters in the side panel. Let me just change the display mode to render, and as you can see we can define all the parameters. I'm going to start by defining another curve, so I want to use this curve. Of course we can select our own curve, we can add customized curves. In this case it's not the case, but all the other parameters I'm going to adjust to, for instance, this I want 4 millimeters. Remember, we can double click to define the measures, and then I'm going to the front view. As you can see, the same process. We can apply the changes in the parameters or using the gumballs. So I'm going to apply a little bit 8 in here. In here, let's type 2 millimeters, and in the bottom let's use 1.5. Okay, so the ring is defined, of course the ring size, everything. As you can see, now we have a solid ring, so I need to hollow this ring. To do it, we have the hollow ring tool, and this is very easy. We just need to select the surface we want to hollow. In this case is the inside surface, and then we just need to define the measures. So in this case I want 1 millimeter thickness, so with these point gumballs I can adjust to hollow the red area, the yellow area will be the transition, and then the solid part. So I just need to check. As you can see, easily we have the ring hollow. So the next step, I'm going to create a section to apply the pavé. So to do it, I'm going to create a curve, and this curve I'm going to create with the offset. So I select the outside curve. I want to create another curve inside. So easily we have the inside curve, and now I'm going to the modeling tab to use the pull push tool. This tool allows us to create a recessed area. So I select the surface, in this case is this one, and the curve, in this case this one. As you can see, automatically I have a recessed area. I just need to define the distance. So in this case I define 0.4 millimeters, and as you can see, now I have the section for the pavé. So to apply the pavé, I'm going to the Gems tab, and in here I'm going to use the pavé automatic tool. So I just need to define the parameters, select the area where I want to apply the pavé, this surface, then we just need to define the gem size. Of course we can define multiple gem sizes or arrange between sizes. In this case I'm going to use gems between 1.8 and 1.4, and the distance between sizes 1.1 millimeters. So when I click on preview, I can start the pavé on any point, or I can use this option to start from the center. As you can see, the tool is calculating all the positions. Any moment we can pause the calculation just to adjust the positions. So let's take a look. The results, if we need to adjust anything, we can do it. So at this point, the tool is calculating all the positions. It's trying to add the gems with the parameters we defined, as you can see. And of course, if we need to adjust, for instance, I want this gem with 2 millimeters. I select the gem with the plus key. I just adjust the dimension. So easily we can adjust all the parameters. For instance, I want to add one more gem with 1.4. Easily we can just add the gem here, here, so no problem at all. So we just need to define where we need, and in the end we just refresh the positions. As you can see, it's refreshing to keep the distance between gems and the distance to border to respect all the parameters we defined. Finally, we need to define, we have the gems position, we need to define the prongs to apply on these gems. To do it, we have the prongs tab, and we just need to turn on the prongs. As you can see, automatically we have the inside prongs. So I'm going to adjust the parameters, I'm going to adjust diameter, 8, everything I need. And finally, I just need to apply the outside prongs. To do it, probably it's easier in the top view. I change the display mode, and I just need to add more prongs. So it's very easy. Just under the plus icon, we just add the prongs we need. So in this case, just apply the outside prongs. Okay, easily we can do it. Just define the position and click on it, as you can see, and the inside ones are placed automatically. So we just need to apply these outside ones, as you can see. Really easy. Find the position, click, we can define all the prongs we need. Okay. Okay. Almost. And as you can see, I'm going back to the perspective. As you can see, we have everything defined. We just need to check here. And as you can see, the gems and the prongs were automatically added to the ring. Now, the last step is just to create the holes for the gems. So I just need to middle mouse button and select the gems. And now I just going to create the cutters for the gems. So create the cutters. As you can see, we have the cutters automatically. So I can adjust some parameters. For instance, we don't need so much in the bottom. We can easily adjust. And after this, check here. And as you can see, now I just need to make the Boolean operation. So first I'm going to remove the cutters from the ring in order to create the holes for the gems. So first object is the ring, and the object to remove is the cutters. So at this point is calculating all the operation. Okay, I probably didn't use the delete option inside the tool parameters, and finally we just need to create the Boolean to join the prongs to the ring. Okay, as you can see, this is the idea. Just going to hide. Really, really easy. Okay, so as you know, we have seen before, we can apply any material for these objects, and we have the ring ready. Okay, so I hope you have some questions. We have time to check some questions, but probably I will just show you one quick example of the report tool with this model. Let me just select under the menu file, we have the report tool. So this tool allows us to create a report from all the objects in the document. So as you can see, in this case we have 89 diamonds. So we have the weight, we have the metal. So let's take a look in the gems tab. We have all the report about the gems. So the material, it's diamond. We have one diamond brilliant cut with 2 millimeters. Then we have 72 with 1.8, 1.7. We have 2 diamonds. So we have all the parameters, the weight for each one and the total weight for each one. Actually the same with the ring. We have the weight, we have the material. Of course, if we want to know the weight in gold, we just need to change it for yellow gold. And as you can see, we can get all the information in the report to use as reference. We can print, we can save it, this file. This is the idea. Okay, so the report, I think it's truly useful. And now we have still time for to answering some questions. Let's take a look. If you have any question, please use the chat and we will check everything. We are answering everything, but also we can see some details, answering some stuff in here.
Hi Pedro, can you hear me?
Of course.
Hi,
yes.
This is Rafa. Well, Pedro, I'm receiving a lot of questions about Clayu and also about RhinoEmboss and of course RhinoGold for sure. One of these was how we can check the metal price. Then I think you answer this question with the report.
Yes.
But also, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I think we also can show this tool. Probably it's very good to see as well. With this tool, the metal prices, we can check exactly the price of the gold, the silver, platinum, and palladium. So as you can see, we can select in this case European Union and automatically update. So we have all the costs from the metal in here. So it's really easy to get the prices, the metal prices.
Okay. Okay. Other question is how complicated is create a model to send to a 3D printer? What we need? Okay, imagine that you create any design and you want to send to print to your 3D printer.
So actually it's really easy. After we create any model, as you can see, we have created this ring, and now we want to send the ring to print. So we need to convert this model into the STL file format. STL file format, it's the standard file format for all the 3D printers. So we just need to select the model, and then we have the manufacturing tab, and in here we have one option, the STL wizard tool. So we select the object, and then we just need to select the resolution. So in this case, we don't need very high, we just select high resolution, and automatically it will export the object to STL. As you can see, we have the mesh in here. So now, let me just check. Okay, so this, yes?
I think that the important thing is it detects some problems because the STL file must be a closed mesh, right?
Yes. Yes, we have several tools to check this, all the options we need. So some cases, if the STL it's not closed, we can fill the holes from the object, or we can even analyze the object if there are some naked edges or any detail. As you can see in here, we can easily fix these issues easily. So in this case, I know this is the naked edge, so to fix this, I can just select I can just fill the holes or delete the faces I don't need. In this case, probably easier in this display mode. Okay, can delete, and easily we can fill the hole. So I just need to select the mesh, and as you can see, this is the idea. Okay, the STL file format, it's a mesh. As you can see, it's this mesh. We can define more or less resolution. As you can see, I believe this is enough for this ring. So the standard process is this, or even we can export directly by selecting the ring, and under the menu file we can easily export, or directly here, or choose the file format in the here. STL file format, define the ring name, so the folder where we want to save the ring, and define in here the resolution. I believe we don't need too much resolution, we can preview. So there are several ways to export a model to STL. After this, I just need to export, and now we have our STL file in here. So this is the idea. After this, we just send the file to the printer, which will read our STL file. Okay.
Great. Pedro,
yes?
Sorry to ask too much questions, because we are receiving a lot of questions. One of them is, because you told before that the STL file I can send to any printer?
Well, usually the standard file format is STL. So
okay, then I don't need to worry about what machine I'm sending to create the STL, right?
That's it. That's it.
Okay.
The standard file is STL, so it's just the STL which is important. Doesn't matter the machine. So all the machines will recognize the STL file format.
Okay, other question about RhinoEmboss, because by default, I think RhinoEmboss create meshes, okay?
Yes.
But
we also have the option to when we define the emboss project, we have the option to generate the surface. So if we activate this option in the project settings, it will generate a surface instead of a mesh. So when we generate a surface, it will be an earth object, and we have the option to generate a mesh or a surface. It depends the workflow we want to go, but in this case it's very easy. Just activate this option and the rest will be exactly the same process.
Okay, okay. Just a point here. RhinoEmboss allows the new export to hayfield bitmaps. Okay, black and white.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's true.
I saw that there are a lot of companies using this format with the laser engravers. Okay, then then
I can show a quick example.
Okay.
So I'm just going to open. Okay, I believe we didn't change I didn't save the changes in here, but I can show just a quick example of one operation and what's the result of the 8-field image. So I apply the relief, any relief I want, so refresh. Okay, and now from here I can use this icon. Under the project settings I have the option to save 8-field image. So when I save this option, I just need to define the file format, any of this, and of course define the image. So I save the image and the bitmap was successfully saved. So as you can see, now we have a grayscale image with this image. If I apply this image on any surface, as a texture, it will be exactly the same shape as this one, with the same profile, everything.
Cool.
Okay.
Oh, so Rafael, Pedro, let me,
Yes?
We have five people as panelists, and you guys just keep sending these questions in. So I think what we'll do is we'll set a time limit of maybe another 5 minutes, and then afterwards, how about a blog post? I mean, we could put all these questions together and then reshare it as a blog post. That way, everybody gets those questions. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
All right, 5 more minutes, and we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin. So as I was saying, just for the Rhino Emboss, we can create any model, and we can save 8-field image, which allow us to apply then the generated image with. I'm going just to create a new surface just to show you how to apply it. So for instance, if I create a surface and I want to apply the texture, so in this case I just need to add the image to the library, but let me do it. So probably I need to add the changes before. Okay, let me check. Okay, just need to save the image in our user folder. It's very easy, so I just go to the user folder, open the user folder, and under the textures I can copy the image I have created now. So I can copy this image to this folder, and now probably I need to restart just to have the image in here. Yes, just need to restart, but the idea is this: I apply the image as any other image we have in here. So if I choose this one, I just apply the surface and define all the parameters, And as you can see, we have a surface based on the image we have created. So this is the 8-field image, and we can apply it as a texture, as you can see. So this is the idea.
Pedro, Enrique is sending me a lot of, I think, too much questions. Probably well, we have 3 minutes, then probably we need to answer just in. Okay, because one of the questions is which render do you recommend for RhinoGold?
Well, actually, I think it's I think we have lots of rendering softwares compatible with RhinoGold. So I believe it's if the user have some experience with a specific rendering program, probably I would recommend to keep using that same program. But actually, you can use lots of different softwares like Brazil, V-Ray, Flamingo, Penguin, Maxwell, Keyshot. There are lots of different rendering programs available, and all of them are good software. So we get good results with Brazil. For instance, we have the Render Studio for Brazil, and we have very good results for rendering with Brazil. So I believe the Brazil is very good, V-Ray is very good, so there are lots of good softwares for rendering, and the important, all of them are compatible with RhinoGold.
Yeah, I see from my point of view, Brazil and V-Ray are technically the best renders engines for jewelry.
For jewelry.
Well, for a lot of markets, but for example, Flamingo, it's really nice for architectural and other markets, but for stones, I cannot obtain the same quality I can obtain with Brazil or V-Ray. Then for that thing, I think, well, probably from my point of view, Brazil or V-Ray are the two top renders. And also Keyshot can create some beautiful renders and RC, of course. Okay. Then other question is the report tool is saving the time I'm investing to model. Okay. Probably I can answer very quick. I think since you define a name in your file, okay, when you create a new file and you say save as, and then you set the name, at this moment it starts to tracking all the time that you are investing to model this design. Then in report, one of the tabs was a calendar, okay, and this calendar is tracking exactly how many minutes, hours, and days are you investing to create a model. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So, what was that? Go for it. Go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. No. Go ahead.
Last question. Last question.
Last question. Can we set the weight in pennyways?
Yes. Very easy. Well, under the options, we have the RhinoGold options, as you can see, and in here we can define the weight as unit, as grams, or any weight. So easily we can change for the one we want, and in here we just click OK and done. Now it's defined the unit. It's really easy.
All right. Okay, yeah, because I noticed that one too. I was like, I've never seen that unit of measurement, and I'm sure that's probably a jewelry design thing or a jewelry design term. But really cool. Yeah. I think what we'll do, so that's a Q&A. There's tons of questions. So what we'll do is I will forward them to the TDM Solutions team, and they will probably, hopefully not work on the weekend to get those answers out, and we'll try to have a blog post ready by next week. How about that?
Very good, Kevin.
Cool. Because I understand you guys. Idea. It's like what 8 p.m. over there, local time in Spain, or?
Yeah, yeah, but there is no. Yeah.
Cool. All right, so I'll switch back to me. I'll make myself the presenter right about now. Let me know if you guys can see the screen. Very cool. It should be up.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So,
yes, I see.
Okay, on behalf of the Novedge team, on behalf of TDM Solutions, I want to thank everybody for joining us. For those of you who joined us again from last time, thank you for joining the rescheduled webinar. Many thanks to everyone for joining us, for the new guys, and for all your questions. So now we have a lot of content for interesting blog posts. So yeah, so if you guys are looking to pick up a latest version of RhinoGold 4.0, as you guys know, there's you could do tons of new features like Rhino Emboss, the 1.0 beta, and also Clayu. So it is available in the U.S., Canada, Australia, and New Zealand from Novedge.com. We are one of the largest design software stores. So if you guys are interested in picking one up, contact our sales rep, Bob. There, you can reach him by his email address, bob@novedge.com. Barbara.
Yes, Kevin. I'm here to remind everybody to really visit our blog. Do you know that every Monday we have a blog post with all the new releases and the latest specials? Don't miss the chance to find out the best discounts and the latest software. Just like the Novedge page on Facebook or Google+, and you will automatically get all the updates. Next week, Resolve Software Solutions President in person, Geoff McBeath, will present our upcoming Vectorworks webinar, and he'll cover the steps for creating a 3D site model from a surveyor's file, including georeference data, alignment with their photos, and DWG info, as well as cleaning up edges and problem data points after creation. So another great technical webinar coming up, which is going to be completely free, and it will have time at the end for you to ask all the questions that you want. Like you did today. So this is a great interaction, guys. Rafael, Pedro, that was great. Last but not least, today's webinar is being recorded live. And if you want to rewatch it, you just visit our Novedge webinar series channel through Vimeo and YouTube.
All right, thank you, Barbara. So with that said, you guys can find us on Facebook. We're on Google+. We're also on Twitter. I know that if you guys have any questions, you guys are more than welcome to tweet at RhinoGold as well, or hashtag RhinoGold. So any last words from TDM Solutions, Rafael, Pedro, Enrique?
Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much, Kevin and all the Novedge team. It was a pleasure, and we will be answering all the questions we didn't get time to answer them. We will be answer them and send to publish in the blog, so every doubts will be clarified.
Cool, awesome. All right, thank you, guys. Wherever you are in the world, thank you. Please have a good night, good morning, good day. Enjoy your lunch, dinner.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you,
Ciao.
Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you, Pedro. Thanks, Rafael.
Thank you.